Hi, hello. This video is about Mao Zedong, born December 26, 1893 in Shaoshan, China, was the first dictator and founder of the People's Republic of China, and led a cultural and economic revolution within the country that brought a great resurgence to China's power and status. His ideas and methods replaced the previous nationalist government, and at the height of his power, Mao controlled nearly a quarter of the world's population. Here's the top 5 reasons Mao Zedong was a world history influencer. Number 5. During World War II, China was a part of the Allies, and during the war, they mainly fought Japan in the East while all of the European nations fought in Europe. Although Mao wasn't the leader of China at the time, he still possessed a large force of troops through the CCP, and during the war, he fought along Chiang Kai-shek of the Kuomintang to drive Japan away from China, tipping the scales of the World War in the Allies' favor. Without Mao's help, China probably couldn't have beaten the Japanese, which would then mean the Axis might have won the war, so his involvement proves his influence on the post-World War II world and his viability as China's leader. Number 4. After the war, Mao had gained enough power and support to overthrow the disastrous Kuomintang and establish the People's Republic of China to take its place in 1949. This government was mainly communist, greatly valuing the work of the peasant and working class, and also brought many domestic improvements to China, such as higher literacy rates, better hygiene, and more women's rights. However, these improvements came at a cost, because Mao's China highly limited free speech and thought, using censorship and propaganda to denounce all forms of thinking other than Maoism. Despite this, the People's Republic of China is still active today, serving as China's current form of government, and without Mao's influence, China would probably not be the same China it is today. Number 3. Mao's political philosophy, which he used to establish China's government, was a very effective strategy for the post-nationalist nation. This ideology, called Maoism, valued ideas such as the power of the working class and peasantry, the military strategy of guerrilla warfare, as well as many methodologies from traditional Marxism. These strategies worked very well for the nation, so well in fact that other countries copied and adapted Maoism for their own governments. Countries with Maoist influence include India, Nepal, Peru, the Philippines, and Cambodia, along with various smaller movements in Southeast Asia, Latin America, and Africa. And none of these changes would have been possible without Mao and his ideas. Number 2. The Cold War was one of the most tense periods of time in the world's history. Many nations had the nuclear firepower to destroy the world many times over, and they were all ready to aim them at each other at the drop of a pin. During this time, Chairman Mao had ties with the Soviet Union, and their alliance created a great shift of power towards communist nations. However, China broke away from the Soviets in what is today called the Sino-Soviet split, and this divorce of nations completely threw off the balance of power during the Cold War. The Sino-Soviet split allowed the US to ally with China and control the tension of the Cold War, and such an outcome was not possible without Mao's influence over China. Number 1. When Mao was born, China was not in a good point in its history. It had been destroyed by the unequal treaties of imperialism, and its people were seeking change, which Mao also sought to do. His establishment of a pro-communist party in China, takeover of the Chinese government, and perseverance in restoring China saw massive success, turning it from a weak semi-colony into a world power. If Mao hadn't caused China's massive power gain, neither he nor China would have been able to influence nearly as much as they did. His influence over 19th century China and the world is truly unprecedented, and without Mao, all of our lives could have been completely different.